Everyone's favorite segment of College Football Monday, VT Corner. Virginia Tech beats NC State 23-21, Sam. Saturday was a special night. That was a special night.
Oh.
Now, the whole game was not a blast to watch. We got Sam pouring one up for us. But the result was one of the most satisfying I can remember in the last handful of years, 10 years, what have you. I'm not saying it was the most, but it was up there with some of the best, most satisfying games. And at the end of this segment, I want to ask you of some of the other satisfying ones on your radar screen. And if you have satisfying wins that Virginia Tech has had over the past decade or so, put them in the chat. But this game, Love got us on the board early. And this kid he's so freaking good, man. He's so freaking good. He hits the 39-yarder. They followed it up quickly with a touchdown. And then we put up 10 points in the second quarter. We took a 13-7 lead into the half. At halftime, Sam, are you thinking like, okay, we look a little bit different on defense?
Yeah,
it looks like we're going to compete.
I think you saw it from the first few possessions of this game. Like the first possession defensively, really solid. The second possession, NC State kind of marched down the field on them, and then you were like, okay, that tracks a little bit more. But then they responded from that, and like nothing was easy for NC State all night long. It did look totally different.
It did. It did seem, and they take that early lead in the third quarter, 14-13. But as the quarter was winding down, we got the game-breaking run by Terrion Stewart. We scored on the next play, and it was 20-14. NC State put up a 10-play, 75-yard drive. That started the fourth, and they took yet another 1-point lead. But we were able to get in position for a field goal with 6.5 minutes left. We hit it, but there was a delay of game. And you could see it coming a mile away. Like that, they're calling for it, and I guess it was on the snapper, but like I don't really know exactly, or couldn't hear or whatever. But we get the delay of game. Of course, the field goal goes in. So we see it go through the uprights, and we're like, crap, he's got to do this again from 5 yards back. Well, what do you know? John Love is the man. And he hits a 48-yarder, perfect kick, and we take the lead. And like, so then it's getting closer to the end. We have that 4th and 1 in our own territory. As soon as we got the 4th and 1, I like said to myself and my wife, we're watching the game, I'm like, we got to go. And then as like
here's the question of the game,
and they're taking the time to think about it, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know what, like I'm the coach, like it matters what I think, but I'm in this inner turmoil in myself, like should we go, should we not? And when they came out and did the like trying to get them to jump, I was like, phew, like that was like me, like okay, we're gonna punt, like that is okay. How did you feel in that moment?
Okay, so I tweeted out. Like, so Virginia Tech actually had a similar situation. They had a 4th and short on their own side of the field earlier in the game, went for it, got it by like a yard on a QB sneak. And it wasn't the easiest QB sneak, but like got it comfortably. And I tweeted out, I said, Phil Montgomery learned from his predecessor's mistake. Like, this is not a good enough offense for you to just say, we'll score next drive. Like, you got to keep the ball and do some ball control and move down the field. So I was like, yeah, he learned from that. And then he got that. And I was like, man, I think I wanted to go for it because a minute 50, here, and here's why. Initially, I wanted to go for it. A minute 50 is a very long time in college football, even with no timeouts. And you only have to they have a decent field goal kicker, and you only have to get in field goal range. And I was like, dude, I know exactly how this is going to go. And the third thing was in the second half, the one thing NC State had going for them on offense was their slot wide receiver, who was like motioned out a little bit wider than a slot wide receiver normally is, was basically just running a post into the zone, and it was open every time. They ran it 4 or 5 different times. And I was like, man, they complete 2 of those, they're in field goal range, unless this is a great punt. And so my eyes, I was like, they've started to complete some passes. They have a good kicker. Go for it, win the game. However, you say Phil Montgomery, who did say he wanted to go for it at the end, like,
and Kyron wanted to go for it,
which is exactly what you want your quarterback to say. Like the last thing you would want Kyron to say is like, "No, you should punt this," right?
And he's huge, and like,
yeah. And Altoona was having a good game
would have gotten it. Like we probably would have gotten it in my head, But I'll say when they came out to the field and it was that 4th and 1, I was scared. Like, because if you don't get that, you lose. Like,
the trying to get the other team to jump off sides thing doesn't work anymore in football. In college or pro, it does not work anymore.
It rarely
so I think coaches
works.
should
You are
stop
correct.
doing it.
Yeah, because you could jump.
Yes. And the punt that Tech got, like, they decided to punt, and I was like, okay, here we go. Like, Sam Seifkes, this is your moment. The punt was an average punt. Good.
It wasn't his best.
It wasn't his best, but I think you're going there for more like no return. You don't want to outkick your coverage.
True,
so it did have a little more hang time than some of others punts. Defensively, the defense, they were able to get a little bit of pressure with 4. Defense hung tough. And they did their job. The fumble is at that moment, I was like, and we'll get into this a lot more on Wednesday, but I was like, dude, sometimes this team just finds ways to lose. And I was like, that's the way that they found to lose.
There's
Although
6
the
guys
fumble,
around
that was the drive before.
Oh, was it the drive before?
That was the drive before. But if they would have gotten that, it would have been in scoring range and all that stuff. But Christian Ellis, man, made the play. It was obvious that they were going to go to Jolie, who is their most targeted wide receiver. He's their best wide receiver. It was obvious they were going to go to him, and Ellis read it, was all over him.
Great play. I would say this about the 4th and 1 call. The defense had been so good up to that point. Give them the full length of the field, because NC State had no timeouts left. I know they can get the first down and get a small timeout. I know they can go out of bounds, which they did. But with how good the defense has been playing in that game, and the fact that, like, it was a huge risk. Like, you have this chance to win. Like, give your defense a chance to do it. If they can drive down the field and kick a field goal, which is no guarantee, without turning it over either, because there hadn't been, the turnovers in this game, I was thinking, like, they might force something and have a turnover too.
Yeah.
And so, Bailey, I felt good about the decision, honestly.
Bailey is making a concerted effort this year to not put the ball in harm's way. And it's making him be a very, very efficient passer. He is not a very effective passer. He will hit a few downfield. He had a beautiful touchdown pass on that corner route. He was a dime. So you see the arm talent, but a lot of that completion percentage is pretty inflated with, check downs here or there.
He makes those beautiful throws over the middle. Like,
yeah, he's killing Tech with that.
Yeah, and he's killed every team with it. I mean, that is his bread and butter. Like, he can hit a crossing pattern or whatever perfectly in stride almost every time. Not every throw is great, and he does have really good weapons. The most impressive part for the defense is what we did to Smothers.
Yeah. I mean, nobody has been able to defend Smothers like that. I thought really good, like, Virginia Tech did it not just with, like, dominating their offensive line, but from linebackers coming up and making plays. Caleb Spencer, we talked about him last week.
Oh my gosh,
the dude played amazing.
You nailed safety.
This, man. You had safeties coming up and making plays. Like, he's not a guy that you can tackle with the first player. He's too patient of a runner. He's too wiggly. You need the second defender to come in and make the play. And Tech did that more times than not. Only a couple times did Tech have the missed tackle and there goes Smothers. It only happened a couple times. A stat that I wanted to bring up that's related to that, and I don't think I've talked about this year, it's called highlight yards for rushing. And basically it's after you get 5 yards down the field, after the offensive line kind of does their job, how many yards do you have after that?
Okay.
Virginia Tech had 136 rushing yards that were after 5 yards after the line of scrimmage.
I mean, yeah, that's mostly Stewart, but Hawkins ran well in this game too.
NC State had 9.
That's it. 9 yards.
9 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that is crazy.
Let's finish the thought on our defense before we move to Terrion and the offense, because I want to get to that. But Caleb Spencer, Isaiah Cash, Noah Chambers, Shelton Robinson, like, these guys had coming out parties. And young, 2 of those guys are true freshmen, Noah Chambers and Shelton Robinson. And Cash was one of our transfers. We started 3 safeties and we stayed, like, with the 3 safety look just about all night long. I mean, Isaiah Brown Murray was out there too. But we were challenging Bailey with a lot of defensive backs is what we were trying to do, and trying to get pressure with less men up front and whatever. But Spencer did a great job at the linebacker position. We had 8 tackles for loss. We had 5 sacks. I mean, we had 0 sacks versus Vandy and ODU, and we are still 35th in the country in sacks because we did 4, 4, and 5 in the other 3 games. They were able to get pressure. Ellis not only had the pass breakup at the end of the game, he had 2 other pass breakups in the game. We held NC State's offense, who torched UVA, which I know they suck, but whatever. Look, on defense, they suck. 299 yards was all that NC State got. To hold this offense in their home stadium to under 300 yards and 4.5 per play is crazy. They were well over 6 yards per play. I want to say it was over 6.5 yards per play coming into the game. And so mid 400s typically, and we held them to 299. Our guys were locked in all night. What a game plan and execution by Sam Seifkis, not Scott Seifkis, Sam Seifkis and the defense.
This was the kind of game that you hired Sam Seifkis for. Like, you hired him for this game where you go up against a good offense and you just kind of schematically confuse them enough that they can't do what they want to do. And I think this was one of those games where it was like, if guys do their job up front, it's going to be really hard for NC State to move the ball. And now we've seen it like 2 out of the 5 games Tech has played. They've been able to do this to the opposing quarterback, and the opposing quarterback's good quarterbacks. Like, they've done it to Sellers, and now they've done it to Bailey.
And they sacked them a ton. They confused them. And it's both of those games have been the games where, like, the players have bought in and are playing hard the whole time. If you can get that performance from this defense week in and week out. And what's crazy about all of this, Sam, is that this is not the full boat. Like, we've had guys leave the team. Caleb Woodson didn't play again. I mean, he may be serving his suspension. He may be thinking about other things. He may be dealing with an injury, but whatever. He was on the sideline. Burgos isn't on the team anymore. Joncom's not on the team anymore. We're playing true freshmen, and they're playing as best as they've played all year.
Yeah, and I think what's really promising too is, Kelvin Gilliam, who we think know is a leader of this team, as well as Kamari Copeland, those 2 guys inside, they had really good games without being stat stuffers like they were against Wofford. Like, I thought they just didn't get pushed around in this game. And that was our fear, right? Like, going into this, like, okay, if the defense doesn't play with that attitude, NC State can score 45 points, and we can't keep up with that. And they did. Like, we got that attitude tonight. It was really, really well done defensively.
It was. And when
we've now seen 3 of the 5 performances have now been really good performances defensively.
It's a shame.
It is, dude.
What's a shame is the start of the schedule. Because you had a tough start, and you had just a ball-busting team in Vanderbilt come into your house, and it changed a lot. Now, I will say this. If Pry's not gone, we don't win this game.
No.
So you needed him to get excommunicated in order to get this result. And I just...
Is he a political prisoner?
He's back in...
He and Napoleon are chilling on an island somewhere.
That's more like leprosy, right? You get excommunicated or something. But yeah, it was great. Offensively, let's talk a little bit about drones. Like, I have to admit, I was complaining about the offensive play calling early and often
in this
Twitter.
game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we had 12 pass attempts in the first quarter. Yeah. It is too many. Now, listen, we won the game, and I'm an idiot. So, but I just think Kyron passing the ball is not our most efficient play. If you want to say us passing the ball a dozen times in the first quarter set us up for success later for Terrion, okay, I can buy into that. But going forward, I don't think we're going to see these run pass splits with the strength that we're seeing on this team.
I'd agree with that. And I think, you look at the beginning of this game, first off, the first 3rd down of the game, it was like a 3rd and 6 or something like that, was a beautifully designed play. to get Isaiah Spencer open on an out route. Like, it was, you had the motion,
Oh,
moving the defense. You saw they were pushed back. Like, it was a beautiful, beautiful play. And I was like, that is what this team needs to do for Kyren. Like, scheme him open some guys early. And they did. I think the difference in this, though, that made the pass splits a little bit harder to swallow, we didn't get the contested catches that we got against South Carolina. And I thought, like, Donovan Green, 2 slant routes that were like contested catches he didn't come up with. He had another drop in the game. Snook Peterkin had a pretty bad drop. Aiden Green had a bad drop down the sideline on
which they didn't even call a drop.
They didn't call it a drop, which is a mistake. Like, there were 4 obvious. There were 4 obvious drops, and then another 2 contested catches that you'd like your guy to come up with. I still don't think we're getting the wide receiver performance that Virginia Tech needs on simply just catching the ball.
They need to help Kyren out. He's not a
Tyrion Stewart had a drop as well. Yeah. So I think it's like, you're not going to, it's almost the opposite of Bailey. Like, you're not going to ever get super efficient Kyren drones, but you can get super effective Kyren drones. And
he had some killer plays.
That's what worked. Like, yeah, I thought he was a more effective player than CJ Bailey was in this game.
Like, he pulled our ass out of the fire on a couple different plays. The one to Benji, right? Like,
you can tell he trained with Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders. I'll tell you that. He's got that in his game.
Yeah.
He's done it multiple times. And I'll tell you, like,
and he's gaining confidence. Like, he is gaining confidence.
Against South Carolina, he had a play like that towards the end of the game, and his throw was maybe 2 yards past Aiden Green in the end zone. It would have been one of the best throws in Virginia Tech history. And he did it against Miami a few times. He's done it in other games. Like, he does have that backyard football gamer to him. You'd like to not see it a lot, but also that throw to Benji, do you know how far that throw was? Like, how many yards it gained?
It was like 3 yards or something, wasn't it? Like, it was
the run around like crazy and 14. I think it had like 30 air yards.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, he had to go back a ways, but ultimately, my whole point with talking about the complaining and stuff is just that over 4 years, it has been clear we have a lot more success in the running game. It's for whatever reason, whether it's the quarterback, the offensive line, I don't know what it is, but we usually run better than we throw. We ran for 7.4 yards a carry in this game. Tyrion Stewart, revelation. 15 carries, 174. I know he had the long one, but even if he took out the long one, he had an amazing average. 9.2 yards per carry on the season for Tyrion Stewart, who has not had so many carries, but when he's ran it for 9 yards. Hawkins ran well, 4 for 47. He actually had a higher average than Tyrion did in the game, which is mind-blowing.
We knew this was a possibility in this matchup. We talked about it. We were like, they're not a good tackling team. They're not a good run defense team. They struggle with once you get the ball in space, NC State really struggles to stop you. And I give a lot of credit, like, to the offensive line. I give credit to Stewart and Hawkins for running hard. I give credit to, like, this offensive scheme. Like, they knew what would work in this game.
So the 2 running backs, the 2 top guys, well, I guess they really only ran 2 backs. 19 combined carries, and then Drones had 11 carries, so that's 30.
Drones had how many? Drones had 9 carries.
There were sacks, I guess.
Yeah, right? I think he ended. His actual designed rushing ended with like 9 carries for 34 yards or something.
But even if you include the sacks, like, that 30 number of the 3 of them combined needs to be 35, 40, 42. Like, it needs to go up.
Yeah,
and I think it will. I think it will.
I thought, like, in the second half, he had like a QB sweep on a 3rd down that was really just like, he executed that well. Shades of Quincy Patterson the third, dare I say. I
mean, Kyren really is like, he's definitely Quincy Patterson plus. Like,
he's like, no, he's
just
like
the body type is the same. Like, the running style is not that much different, but like, Kyren's obviously a much better passer than
I think you see the vision and you do see the potential, and it's like, can we put that all together? But I think I agree with you. Like, this team does need to run the ball a lot. Like I think against Wake Forest, dude, like you give Terry and Stewart needs 15 carries, Hawkins needs 15 carries, Kyron needs 10 carries.
And that game next weekend, we'll talk about it on Wednesday, but like Wake's not a bad defense. Like
Wake is
it's going to be a hard fought
much
game.
better defensively than we thought they were going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. The CW announcers, as I kind of indicated with the Scott Seifkes, they were terrible. It's so bad. That was one of the worst. Like I had a hard time listening to it. I know a lot of people were complaining about it, but Brenneman's not normally that bad.
Trust tree, you and I, trust tree.
Sure. Just
no one else listening. I didn't have the sound on for like 90% of this game. Well, I was you lucked out. You thinking I was going to I had this game, Alabama, Georgia, and Oregon, Penn State on the screens, and you think I was listening to this game?
Yeah, it was.
No.
It was one of the poorest game calls I can remember in a while. Austie says, I was so excited when they hired a coordinator with serious head coaching and game management experience, mentally preparing for Pry to be excommunicated, in quotes. Pillow Pet Hokie Bird stands tall and proud. And you're damn right, Austie. He's up on his hindquarters, gobbling away.
So, as we close out VT Corner, I mean, we're going to talk a lot more about this on Wednesday. I know I tweeted something out that I wanted to talk about the explosiveness of Virginia Tech's offense in this game. If I'm like wrapping it up and putting a bow on it, this type of performance was the vision for 2025 Virginia Tech. Like scheme enough stuff on offense. You went out and you got a running back that you really like. Kyron takes care of the ball and makes a few plays here and there. And then your defense is nasty and confuses the opposing quarterback. Like that, this is the vision for how this team is good this year. And I really hope that they can take this and like go back to this. Like Wake is going to be a tough game. I think that team's much improved. Georgia Tech is obviously tough. And then you get into the real, like Cal is going to be tougher than we thought for sure. Like, I hope they can continually go back to this game and be like, here is what works for us.
Mm-hmm. And as the final takeaways go, you have to mention Montgomery doing something that Pry never did, which was winning a one-score game against a power conference opponent. His only power conference, or I guess his only one-score win was the Liberty game.
Which their coach was basically already doing like house tours in Auburn, Alabama by that time.
He was 1-12 in one-score games. The win was Liberty. And so in Phil Montgomery's first game against a power conference opponent, his first one-score game, he wins on the road in one of the tougher places to play in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't overstate how much of an improvement this is at the coaching spot, and like how juiced up he was on the sideline, in the locker room, the videos we've seen. It is, gosh, I was up for like 2 hours, 3 hours after this game, just like absorbing it all and just enjoying it so much. And I mentioned the thing about them playing hard with a bunch of backups. I mean, I mentioned Woodson, Jonkum, Burgos. Love it. I mean, our starting top corner is no longer on the team. And we held a CJ Bailey offense to under 300 yards. I mean, it is just awesome. I was so happy for the guys that stayed and played hard and put it all out there the other night. And I'm grateful to you. And I thank you for that, because it, as a fan, we come down on the team hard when they lay down and they stink. But when they win like this and they gut it out in an extremely tough couple weeks, they deserve a lot of credit. And I give them a lot of credit. A win like that will only help motivate other guys to stick it out and play hard as we move forward.
Let's do it again on Saturday.
Let's do it again. We'll do our 2 Deep Hokies Under the Influence show on Wednesday night, as we always do. But for now, Sam, I need to know what you're drinking.
Oh, well, it is Oktoberfest season. I've seen some Instagrams and some Snapchats from people who are in Munich right now for Oktoberfest. And this one is about as German as you can get. The Paulaner Oktoberfest beer. It is as classic Oktoberfest as you can get.
It's a great one.
And it's not the greatest beer you've ever had, but you do kind of want to be eating some sausages and a pretzel and maybe some cucumber salad on the side. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was for a couple years. That was my favorite Oktoberfest, and
It's
now
really good.
some of my tastes have changed, and some of the other ones that have come out are really good. I mean, that one's been around forever, but the Paulaner Oktoberfest it's very very good. I am drinking the Vapor Rings. Cheers, TDH Vapor Rings from Other Half. I had this on the show maybe once, maybe twice, but it's just that good. And since we're celebrating a big win, I had to have it again. And Other Half, it's a great brewery. It's in Sam's new home, Brooklyn. You'll be going. They have a location in DC. They have a location in Philly, and their distribution is really, really good. But the TDH Vapor Rings with a Z, is a triple dry hopped Imperial Oat Cream IPA, and it is smooth as hell because it's pretty strong. It's 8.4, but it's really, really smooth. It's a hazy. I'm almost done with this thing, and I've got it in the white elephant glass, but this is really good. And the other one I'm having, I just cracked it, is the Hazy Dawn. And this was from a couple years ago. Maybe last year I had this on the show. Cape May, one of the best breweries in Jersey. The Hazy Dawn is one of the best things they do.
Cool can too.
Yeah, it's
nice.
a great
like
can.
That.
They've got some really good beach artwork on their stuff. But, Sam, in the VT Corner segment, and we'll do this before we close the segment in full. We're going to keep the background up. What other recent wins were as satisfying as that NC State?
I think I have to go back to the UNC 2021 game. That was 21, right?
It was
the post-COVID game.
Yep.
That's probably what I have to go back to. I mean, the 55-17 against UVA in Charlottesville was
up there.
Very fun. I was like, that was quintessential. I had a great day. I was sitting with some of my best friends in the world watching that game, and it was amazing. So that was great. But
I got one.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this game a lot, but Pitt 2023,
that was
after the start that we had that season, it wasn't looking good. And we go up to Rutgers, we kind of lose an embarrassing game. We come home, Kyron has 5 touchdowns. We beat Pitt, who I hate. Like, that was so satisfying. 55-17 definitely comes to mind. UNC, I had that down. Going back just a little bit further, Miami 2019. When we went down there after the Duke game, that was immensely satisfying.
That was fun. I mean, especially since the announcers for that game were openly rooting for Miami. We should ask Cam about that when he comes back to preview the Miami game. About
it's so true. They were
Dusty up there in the box, basically throwing up the U the whole game. So yeah, it's up there, man. I'll tell you, like, since Pride took over, like in the Pride tenure, this is the best win. It's the best team they've beaten. And if you
factor in the quality of team, it's the best win, and the location.
And at Carter Finley at night, like Carter, 14th on my home field over the last decade plus, like, it's a tough place to win games. It does get loud. And I'll tell you, like, Raleigh, North Carolina, it's a fun city. I really like it. It's a great city to get drunk on IPAs, and that's a loud student section. And Tech just dominated it. Like, it never felt like the moment was too big for Virginia Tech, because I'll have to look at it, but I believe they led for more time in this game than they trailed.
I believe that. Yeah. Because
that's kind of surprising for a team that's not particularly good.
Last other 2 choices for me for most satisfying wins of the past decade would be UVA 2018, immensely satisfying game, had no business winning, and then WVU 2017. I mean, just the ultimate in satisfaction. First game of the year, we beat them on a neutral site. They were a good team, and we got them. But all right, that's going to close it out for VT Corner.